today?
Doing good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good. Getting hot out, it's getting harder and harder to do the yard work, that kind of thing. But yeah, filming podcasts, but it's all fun. I'm doing it for a purpose. I love it. Um, Tell me your first and last name and the name of the place, man.
Yeah, man. My name is Patrick Cherf. I'm the owner and head instructor of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Gulf Shores. We're located at 3501 Gulf Shores Parkway. We are actually sharing a facility with the Fitness Factory in Gulf Shores. So we have the top floor of a 24/7 gym that's here, and we've graciously been able to have the entire top floor to kind of run our program inside of here.
Oh, wow. The top floor. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Top
sir.
floor? Yeah. Wow. That's cool, man. That's awesome. Um, how long has the place been there? How many years?
We've been inside of the Fitness Factory now for about 2 years. This has now been 2 years, yeah, that we've been inside of the Fitness Factory, and it's been really nice. We've now been growing the program, and I took over in February of this year.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Can you tell me the types of classes? Of course, talk a little bit about what 10th Planet means, um, that kind of thing, and what kind of classes you guys have in the age groups.
Yeah, man, absolutely. 10th Planet is 100% no gi. We don't train in the gi at all. All of my jujitsu classes and all of the classes that are specifically ran here are no gi. Uh, my classes that are run for jujitsu, I have morning classes at 10 a.m. from Tuesday through Friday, and my night classes are all ran at 6 o'clock for the adults. Kids class, I have Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock. And my age groups for kids, I start them as young as 5, and the age group goes all the way up to 12 years old. Usually at 13 is when I make a decision to just be like, hey, man, you're ready for the adults class. We're going to go ahead and just put you in there with the big dogs and
Mhm.
kind of have you move around from there. The other classes that we also have here at the facility, we have a wrestling club that's here. It's the Yellowhammer Wrestling Club. It's run by 2 of my students. It's Ethan Lasser and Yogi Childress are both running the program. They heavily involve the high school wrestling that's around in the area. We have students from Gulf Shores, Foley, Robertsdale, Orange Beach that all are involved in this club. And those classes are ran Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 and Wednesday at 6 o'clock. They also run a youth wrestling class at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. So all of my jujitsu students, all of my kids, they are heavily involved in that program because one of our beliefs that's here is that obviously we have to be able to use our jujitsu, and we can't do that if we can't get somebody to the ground. So we're very wrestling heavy over here, and I'm really happy to have those guys a part of the program. The last program that we have involved, we have striking and MMA classes. We have currently 2 champions inside of our room. Roy Watson is the 155-pound champion for Island Fights. And we also have Elijah Dill in our room, who's the 135-pound champion for Eminence Promotions and for Impact Fight League. So those classes are ran at 7:30 on Monday and Wednesday, and it's with my coach, Scott Thomas, who's also a brown belt in 10th Planet.
Okay, cool. And the Yellowhammer, am I saying it right? Can you tell us what that is?
Yes. Yeah, so Yellowhammer, so I didn't even really know this either. Whenever I asked about the club, I didn't know that the Yellowhammer is actually Alabama state bird.
Okay.
So they named their club really fittingly, and man, just watching how they run a class is pretty incredible, and how they structure everything. So being 2 younger guys that run a wrestling club and kind of just incorporating like what they do in their training has really kind of helped me out and kind of given me some ideas about how I run my classes as well.
Mm-mm. Is their logo a hammer or a bird?
It's the bird.
It's the
Yeah.
bird, like a yellow bird?
Yeah, it's the bird.
Is it yellow?
It is yellow.
I don't know. I'm so interested. Okay, okay. Hey, tell me, why when I kind of know the answer, but for the people who don't know, why when you talk about wrestling, everybody is implementing wrestling into jiu-jitsu. Everybody always talks about the takedown, like where you start. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're in a situation like I'll be honest with you, I've never wrestled a day in my life besides just grappling inside of rooms and then really just trying to implement what's been handed down to me. Uh just putting it in a perspective of being like, if we are in a grappling match, or for better or for worse, if we're in a fight, just because we have a lot of guys that are aspiring to be able to do fighting or MMA, you have to be able to get the match to the ground in some way, shape, or form. So if you don't have tools to be able to take your partner down, you're not going to be able to implement any of the grappling that you're able to use inside of the classroom. So it's
So
one
those
thing to
tools are
have
not
some.
practiced in jujitsu, takedowns?
I mean, I would from schools that I have been a part of, it was a rarity, whenever I was coming up grappling. So this is an assumption off of my part from other schools, but also something that I do see. Uh,
Mm.
for the guys that are wanting to do MMA, like you're not gonna pull guard in an MMA fight unrealistically. I mean, I have seen some guys that'll pull some crazy stuff like an Eminari roll or do some things like that and potentially get the tap on guys. But at the highest level, you have to have a really good pedigree in stand up wrestling to be able to get the match to the ground and to be able to dictate the pace of the match from there.
Can you tell people what pulling guard means?
So pulling guard is basically pulling guard is basically like yeah,
Don't
man.
laugh at me.
Uh Pulling guard is whenever you choose to concede top position, you're going to sit down.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, when I like to compete, or when I did compete mostly, now that I've been teaching, I've kind of taken a step back. Uh I like to sit, I like to play a lot of guard and it depending upon the rule set, you have to make a connection with your partner, either like a collar tie or even just like a 2-on-1 grip. And then you're able to sit down. Like if you notice even IBJJF matches, guys will just grab the collar real quick and they'll sit down. And
Yeah.
that's what pulling guard is just taking away the ability to be taken down because in some scoring aspects, if you get taken down, that's automatically 2 points that's held against you. And
Okay.
for even rule sets like ADCC, the first half is no points. So you're allowed to pull guard. It's basically a submission only for the first half. But when you go to the finals, you're not allowed to pull guard or you get a penalty. So it favors the wrestling exchange. And it's something that we try to implement into the room is just to make sure, like, even if you are getting taken down, I would rather you fail 1,000 times in the takedown aspect, but to see you actively trying and building that confidence for you taking a shot is better than you worrying about getting submitted inside of the room. So that way, when you do go out to go compete, you have the confidence to know, like, I know I have to shoot to take this person down, or I have to find some kind of way to flank around my partner to get them to the floor. And you'll be able to do that in the heat of the moment.
Mm-mm. Tell me more about 10th Planet. How did that start? And, what is that? It's a topic for outsiders looking in because they speak
Yeah,
of it a
man.
lot.
So I can definitely direct you into some people that can give you more of the history of 10th Planet, but I
Sure.
will tell you the head instructor is Eddie Bravo. And where it came from was he's a student under Jean Jacques. So Jean Jacques Machado is like he's the legend, he's the godfather, man. He he was a student under him and he had competed at ADCC and he went up against Hoyler Gracie, and he ended up submitting him with a triangle, and that was kind of like the boom for him. He was a brown belt at the time. Jean Jacques gave him the black belt off of his waist, which I think was really cool to see. To hear that Jean Jacques gave him his black belt, not just a random black belt. He
Mm.
gave him his. And Eddie really wanted to implement a streamline for guys wanting to get to MMA. And at 10th Planet is kind of like the first school that was like, we're just going to focus on the no-gi aspect of grappling. And, 10th Planet, like to me, like what I would consider 10th Planet, and I'm stealing this from one of my good friends and also co-owner of 10th Planet Mobile, Bobby Rivers, he had said 10th Planet is just a collection of guys that like to grapple and taking things that work and putting it together into the room. So I wouldn't even necessarily say, because I know 10th Planet kind of gets a bad name sometimes just for being no gi and it's not traditional being in the gi, but it's a collection of minds and guys that are really using what works from every style of grappling, from even wrestling, judo, sambo, catch wrestling, things of that nature, and just really formulating a system around it.
Okay. Can you tell me why, only, no-gi, if you're able to from a 10th planet perspective? Is there a 10th planet answer for that?
So I'll be honest with you. I trained in the gi for years. Like when I started, that was the only thing that was around. And a lot of the guys that are in this area will also tell you the same thing. Like they kind of had to train in the gi.
Yeah.
But from the perspective of like a 10th planet guy and why I choose to kind of favor more towards the no gi side of things is kind of more under the side of like uh, as in training in both, kind of more the realism, like being able to actually control someone without having to rely on the jacket, or rely on the kimono. Uh, you'll catch a lot of guys that train in the gi that have come to my room specifically and others as well and just be like, man, when the gi comes off, I don't really know what to do. I don't know how to control the human body without having to be able to grab onto these grips, the lapels or the sleeves. When that goes away, you'll kind of see how the people that actually do have an understanding of grappling itself, like grabbing things like 2-on-1s or grabbing a elbow grip or a drag grip, like you'll see how people can actually learn to control the human body instead of just controlling with a grip hanging off of the lapels or hanging off of the collar. Uh, so switching more towards like the MMA side of things with it as well, like how to actually hold someone down without having to rely on fabric, And that's
Mhm.
not taking anything away from the guys that train in the gi. Man, I've trained with guys that train specifically in the gi that are killers, man. And I can also see the utility of the gi for guys like law enforcement being able to grab and actually pin someone down using someone else's fabric. So in the sense of like the answer that I'm, floating around with, it's kind of more of like a preference thing. Like
Sure,
what
sure.
are we training for? Are we training for self-defense or are we training for competition or are we training to learn how to fight? And that would be my complete answer is like I want to find the why somebody's training. And
Mm,
for me, my why when I started training uh was obviously I was watching UFC and then just saw certain guys that I really gravitated towards. Like BJ Penn was like up here for me. And he trained in the gi, but he was also like a very, very good fighter and used his jujitsu to the advantage. And that's kind of what streamlined me to kind of come over and I want to try that.
mhm. What do they have, competition for no-gi specifically?
Oh, oh yes.
Yeah.
80cc competitions, like 80cc opens, are all nogi. And majority, I'll be honest with you, like the guys that are wanting to compete for like money, like there's more opportunities for you to be able to compete with money on the line than there is in the gi. The gi,
Okay.
in this stage of the game, I know guys are kind of, wild and be like, man, the gi's dead. The gi's technically not dead. Like a lot of people prefer it, and older grapplers prefer it because they can see it as a utility to kind of slow the young man's game down. Uh, but if you're looking at it in a perspective of which gives more opportunity to move forward and which kind of gravitates towards kind of the younger guys, I would say Nogi is the route if you're looking for potential professionalism when looking at grappling.
And then my mind goes straight to MMA, UFC, they're not in gis, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you're applying it to MMA competition. correct? You're not in
Yes.
the gi. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and then was there a specific reason why you chose 10th Planet specifically for no gi, or it just kinda
Yeah.
happened? How did that happen? Maybe we can get
Oh,
into the story now. Yeah, let's do that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
dude. So man, I'm about to let me take you back, man.
Blow my
This is a
little
wild
mind.
time. So I started training back in like 2010. I'll kind of breeze a little bit through this, but I'll get directly to the question that you're referencing about why I decided to join 10th Planet. I started in about 2010 in Pensacola. It was at the Red Dragon Karate Studio that's located off like Ninth Avenue. I don't even know if it's still there anymore or not, but I started with Trey Alidor and John Henson and Thor Schaefer. We all were white belts in that room together. And the first original guy that was teaching in that karate studio was a blue belt, and I watched him get his purple. So it was like you weren't training with a black belt back then. You were training with just a bunch of group of guys that just kind of wanted to learn to grapple and kind of have some fun.
Mhm.
Uh, Streamline this like down to about 2017, 2018. I was teaching in Panama City Beach at Emerald Coast Jiu-Jitsu, and I was a fresh purple belt. I hopped into this local Copa in Fort Walton Beach, and I'm sitting there, I did my gi tournament, did a really good, and I was like, I'm gonna hop into no gi as well. And I win my first match, and then my second match, which is technically the final because there was only 3 guys in the bracket, I go up against this young kid, man, this scrawny little kid, and come to find out, like, you can look on Smooth Comp or whatever and kinda see, like, the belt rank, and he was a blue belt, so I kinda just, like, brushed it off. Man, I slap bunk with this dude, and he laced my legs up so fast and broke my ankle in like 20 seconds.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, yeah,
Did it
absolutely. And
surprise you?
dude, I was like, what was that? I
Yeah.
had no clue what had just happened. And come to find out, like the kid's name's Jordan Park. He's to this day one of a really, really dear friend of mine. And afterwards, the match before, I was playing rubber guard, and his coach, Josh Yelverton, who eventually became my coach, pulled me over to the side and was like, "Hey, man, here's this rubber guard stuff that you were doing. You could have went here and here," and just lays on on the gymnasium floor and just starts showing me moves. And then Jordan, graciously was like, "Hey, man, like if you ever want to come out and come train, come on out and come hang out with us." And it's fast forward to like from 2018. I'm making 3-hour trips from Panama City to Gulf Shores, Alabama to come train with
Oh, wow.
Josh Yelverton and Jordan Park and Dylan Chastain, all 3 my good friends and who I consider brothers, and would just graciously just share information with me. And I would go back to my room and I'd be hitting it on those guys. And they're like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, this stuff's awesome, man. Like, where are you learning?" Uh,
Were they 10th Planet? Sorry.
so this at the time, this was a Kazushi Club, Gulf Shores, but
Yeah.
everyone that's like in the know, like knows like if you're Kazushi Club, like you're a Sean Applegate school. Sean Applegate was the original head instructor of 10th Planet Gulf Shores, and now he's the head instructor of 10th Planet Atlanta. So just like a
Got it.
nice family tree that Sean Applegate has kind of created. But come 2020, this is, after COVID and everything, and Hurricane Sally had happened on the Gulf Coast towards, Alabama and towards Pensacola. My family's in Pensacola, so we got affected by the storm pretty heavily. My dad's health wasn't doing too great, and the stars kind of aligned, and it just was like, maybe it's time for you to go back home. And I ended up moving home, and I joined 10th Planet after kind of been in the gym for about, 2 to 3 years of just going back and forth and hanging out in morning classes with these guys, and then finally just made the jump to join the team. So I've been a part of 10th Planet officially under the school since about 2020, and
Where
going
in
to team.
Pensacola was that? Was that in Pensacola or was it Gulf Shores?
I was living in Pensacola, but I was driving to Gulf Shores, Alabama. So it's
Yeah.
about an hour drive. It's not too
Yeah.
crazy, but I was still making a trek to come out here to come train
Yeah.
nightly at that point. And, even with
Bro,
it
my
being
my
like
my my son is going to zoo camp in Gulf Shores next week. He went last year. Do you know
nice.
about zoo
Yeah,
camp
dude.
there?
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
I'm making the drive every day of
Oh,
the Monday through
yeah,
Friday for
dude,
1 week.
it it's a trip, man. It's a small trip, and I mean, that ride home after being in the room full of killers every night, it was one of those ones, like, even coming to the room already as a higher belt, these guys were still blue belts when I'm in there, and just driving home, you're kinda, like, white knuckling the wheel, and I haven't had one of those moments in a long time to where you drive home from training and you're just like, "Man, like, I got my butt kicked today, dude,"
Okay,
and
so
just
that was
really
good.
having to decipher over these positions. So I really, even as a higher rank, like I was a brown belt training in that room with these guys, and I had to go back and like really reevaluate my game because I had to really learn, how these positions go without having a gi on.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. So where did it go from there?
So from there,
Did you start teaching there?
so I started teaching about 2 years after being there. And, Josh allowed me to kind of teach some classes and kind of re-go through the ranks. So I came over as a brown belt and I expressed my wishes to kind of, hey, I want to re-earn my brown belt. I want to get my 10th planet brown belt and
Yeah.
eventually move on to a 10th planet black belt.
And then
And
let's circle back to why 10th Planet specifically? Was it because of it that's what was there, no-gi, as far as
uh
no-gi or Yep.
I'll put it to you like this. It was because of the way that I got treated at that tournament. Like the way that Jordan treated me even after breaking my ankle in competition, but the way that Josh Yelverton pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey man, this is what you could have done. This is what could have done better." Like this even goes above and beyond than what my current coach at the time was doing. You know what I mean? So I was given guidance from the same person's team that I just went up against. And I was just like, man, I need to learn this stuff. And not only for the sense of just being like, if you can't beat them, join them, but the way that I was treated. I
Yeah,
was
but
treated
no
very,
formality.
very
Yeah.
none whatsoever. And I think that that's what the cool thing about 10th Planet is. And the way that I was treated at that time is the way that I try to treat everyone as well. Like, I don't care what team that you're on. I just want you to leave having a good class and knowing that you left with something. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And that's why I joined 10th Planet is because of the way that I was treated. And then everything that came in my life after joining 10th Planet, like the best things in my life happened. You know what I mean? I found a great team. I eventually met my wife, who also trains with me here. And I ended up, buying my first home and then, getting into my first like investment property and then
Okay.
now owning a 10th planet. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
it's been a wild ride over the past 6 years, man.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. That's good news, man. A lot of stuff lined up.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Stars definitely aligned.
do you implement judo into 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
I'll be very frank with you, man. If you ever get to train with like Sean Applegate and some of his guys, like man, Sean is so good at foot sweeps, man. Anytime that I roll with Sean, I just feel like I'm getting flipped every which way.
Okay.
He teaches a lot of foot sweeps and a lot of just like proper ways how to take somebody down. Probably one of the best guys at an overhook I've ever felt. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, my son was training judo for, maybe 1 year or something, at
Mhm.
the academy of Pensacola. Um, he liked it. Um, what about tell me let's at this point, tell me what has jujitsu been for you in your personal life? Tell me that. What has it done for you personally?
Oh man. So jujitsu for me, what it's done for me is kind of like above the foundations that I have, like, it's one of those ones to where if I haven't had jujitsu in my life, like, my life kinda just, like, really went astray, you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones to where it grounds me and it gives me purpose, you know? Being able to teach, like, the kids in the room that I have and to be able to teach the students that I do have, it gives me a purpose. It gives me a reason to wake up and, like, whenever you look at something, like, as a job, it kinda starts to, like, take away from your passion, and I'm at that stage still to where the passion definitely outweighs the job every single day. Even though I've now had to relearn like what running a business is like and kind of the stresses that come involved with it. I've never
Yeah.
had to experience that on my own. And
Yeah.
I still the scales definitely outweigh knowing that like I could be having the worst day ever. And then some of like my 5, 6, or 7-year-old students walk through the door. Hey coach, how are you? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
excited to train. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it just it grounds me, man. And it really humbles me in the sense of being like, I've been given some gifts from God to be able to just kind of like pass on. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's what it means to me, you know.
Have you heard the term third place? Third place? The third place, meaning, you have
No, go
work,
ahead and explain.
you have work, you have home. So most people have 2 places. Jujitsu can be
Hmm.
that 3rd place. In other words, it's a home, it's another home, you know? It's another concrete community. So you're not dumping everything from work onto home, dumping out everything from home to work. It's like a 3rd, extra thing there. Um, so, it's just like another way to, like, be social and, to, not bring everything from home or work to home and vice versa, that kinda thing. Same thing with kids, school, home, jujitsu. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, dude, I can totally see that. Like this is I can assume like most jujitsu instructors are exactly the same. Like they spend a lot of their time here more than they do at their home. This is like
mm,
a second family to me, you know. I can definitely see, the third place as being, this is technically my third place.
yeah, yeah. What would you like to tell people who do not train jujitsu, who are maybe thinking about it or maybe thinking about getting their kids into it?
Man, if you are thinking about getting yourself or your kids involved in jujitsu, I would highly recommend, like, obviously go check out every school, do every free trial, go around and go see all the other options that are around you, and see who really fits your vibe the best, who fits the criteria for the room, because everyone teaches differently, and you need to be able to not only understand like what the instructor is trying to convey to you, but you also kind of have to be prepared for like the classroom setting that is in there. All of my classes are all levels. I don't have a fundamentals class. My classes are
Okay.
literally, you come in, you're going to learn what, I've got brand new white belts or brand new trial students are learning exactly what some of the blues, purples, and brown belts in the room are learning as well. So everyone's on the same level playing field, even though there's a level of experience that is different between the people. So, uh, I would highly recommend just coming in and just being open-minded, get to know your instructor, get to know your friend, the students that are in the room with you. And then that way, like you can really make the decision. Like you'll have people that'll come in on, I'll give like a trial week. And then on the first day, they'll just be like, yeah, this is my spot. I'm chilling here. You know, uh, I would recommend to kids, uh, parents of kids that want to come in and try the classroom. This is another one that's kind of huge. Like you want the kid to come in. For kids, it's a little different. You want them definitely to have not only learning, leaving the classroom learning something. You also want them to be able to come to the class and know that you're dropping them off and that they're going to be representing you as well. You know what I mean? Like you don't want your kid to act up in there, and just know that you've got an instructor that's definitely going to guide them and take care of them. And then at the end of the day, like you also want them to have fun. You want them to be able to know like they've got guys in the room, they've got little kids in there as well that will teach them on their first day. Like if I can show you like some of the videos from class, like I have 6-year-old kids or 7-year-old kids when a new kid comes in. This is the same thing I tell my kids that I tell adults. I'd be like, hey, you remember when it was your first day? You know how scared you were. Make them feel welcome. And then you'll see little 6-year-old kids be like, hey man, my name's such and such. And then they'll just help them along the way. And that's kind of the culture that I try to build in here, not only for my kids, but my adults as well. So anyone that's nervous about it, we've all been there. Anybody that has ever come into the room ever, regardless what belt rank that you are, everyone was a white belt someday. Everyone was a trial class person one day before they were even a paying member. So really trying to incorporate the culture of just being like, I want you to feel comfortable, and I want you to know that like when you come into the room, you're going to be well taken care of, but you're also going to get pushed. So definitely know that.
When you're talking about the kids, like, greeting the other kids, I'm thinking Billy Madison. "Hey, Billy, what's up?" I swear.
Yeah.
One of the scenes I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say came to mind when they're on the field trip. Billy does that too, you know? Anyways, well, why do people love it there so much, man? How about before you hit on that, let me ask this. I wanna ask, when you're talking about why do you think people are learning better, in the way you're teaching as far as teaching everything at once? Do you think there's a reason
Uh,
why
so, I mean, I'll be honest with you. This is
or
the
what's your
way, like,
opinion on
I
it?
start.
Yeah,
Yeah, so when I joined 10th Planet, and when I've specifically been learning under Sean Applegate and Josh Yelverton and all of his black belts, Chase Hanna, you know, Ryan Aiken and Justin Raymer, all of those guys, like they all may be like a different, you know, flavor, but they're all the same consistency. They all teach how Sean conveys his jujitsu. And I think that it kind of streamlines your process, or progress rather. So more than just coming in and just like, hey, here's the move of the day, and then you just go off and you go roll. You kind of get it presented in the reasons. You're not just learning the move, you're learning the what, whys, and hows, like, and also learning dilemmas that come from it. So you're learning one move specifically from a certain position, but you're also learning how to kind of navigate the course by yourself. So
mm,
one of my good friends, he's the owner of Kazushi Club Atlanta. He's one of my best friends. His name's Muhammad. He used this analogy about Sean that I really think conveys like exactly what, you know, the Sean's Kazushi Club guys in 10th Planet Atlanta and 10th Planet Gulf Shores is in general. Like the age old saying, like you can teach a man to fish, you know what I mean?
yeah,
How Sean, instead of like you can give the man the fish, like I'm giving you the technique, and then you have to come back and get fed every single day from me. My eventual goal and what Sean's eventual goal and what all of the instructors from any of the Kazushi clubs try to convey is I'm teaching you how to fish. I eventually want you to fish by yourself. And I want you to be able to develop and build your own game, but also still come to me and ask for some of those answers. And I think that this is what really streamlined my jujitsu in general. I really felt, to be honest with you, even though that I've been training since 2010, I really think that my jujitsu journey actually really started in 2020 when I joined 10th Planet. It completely changed the way that I think about jujitsu, and it completely thinks like changed the way that I think about grappling in general. Is, you know, how it's not when you put your partner in a position, it's not what you're going to do next. It's what your partner is going to try to do based upon the stimulus that you've provided.
mhm,
And anytime that
mm,
you make it to a position when you know the answer off of the both sides of the dilemma, you can be able to move accordingly. And I think that that's where I try to convey my jujitsu now is what I've been given and what I've been taught and the way that I was taught to fish.
mm. Why do people love it there so much? Why do people keep coming back? What's different about it?
Man, I'll be honest with you, like, I don't really know. I guess it's like,
Yeah.
man, I've got
Why do you love the culture there?
I love the culture here because I've got a wide variety. Like, I've got a bunch of young kids, a bunch of young wrestlers that come into the room. And then me, now, like, I still, some days I see myself as like, oh man, I'm still this 20-year-old kid coming in the room when that's not the answer. I'm literally a 35-year-old
Yeah.
man teaching jujitsu, and I'm basically unk to these kids. And,
Yeah. Dude, I'm
I
40, I
think
still feel like 27 or something, I swear
yeah,
to you.
dude. I still feel like I can keep up with the young guns, but I
Mm,
think the culture that I'm really like, I guess the reason why people come through the door is that they know that they're going to get pushed, technically, physically, and then sometimes even mentally. Like the guys that want to compete, like tomorrow we're going to be going to Milton for the Southeastern Sub Classic, and I have 4 of my guys competing, and I've kind of pushed them a little hard over the past couple of weeks, and just preparing them to be on a stage because it's different than being uh, in an actual tournament. An actual tournament, there's multiple matches going on at once. There couldn't Sometimes there's a lot of eyes on you, sometimes there's not. When you compete on a stage, it's all eyes on you. So really just getting them used to
mm.
like understanding the coaching and like being able to decipher my voice through the chaos.
Yeah.
And I think, man, just seeing them come through the room, like all of my guys in here, like we kind of like have this culture when somebody comes in, everyone will walk in, and Sean's guys do it. Every one of the Kazushi Club guys do it. As soon as they walk in, they make sure that they fist bump everybody and they say their name. You
Welcome
know
to
what I mean?
season.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like everyone knows each other's name inside of the room. It's kind of, cheers thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's no strangers, no weirdness going on. You know what I mean? And
Cool.
I think that that's why people want to come back, is because, everybody knows your name and everybody gives you the respect that you deserve.
Cool, cool. Well, thanks, man, for your story. What a cool story. I'm so glad we got to talk. Took a few weeks. We got it set up. No, it
Yeah,
was more
man,
than a
dude,
few weeks. It was
stoked.
probably a couple months.
Yeah,
Time
dude,
goes
it's been a
by.
couple of months, man. We've been pretty busy, man, but I'm really glad that we got to connect, man. And
For sure.
anytime you ever want to hit me back up, man, I loved watching your journey as well, seeing all the guys that you've been able to get to talk to, some guys that I've actually known for a pretty long amount of time, man. I just want to let you know I appreciate it. And
Yeah, for sure,
anytime
man.
you want to hit me back up, man, I'm open.
Yeah, man. If I'm oh, maybe we'll stop by. Maybe we'll be able to stop by there one day next week. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you'll be there and I'll message you because we'll be over there with the zoo camp. If it lines up, we'll see.
Dude,
I'll say,
I'm
hey,
I'm here 6 days a week, man. I'm
okay.
guaranteed to be here. Just hit me up, man. I'd love to be able to meet you in person and be able to meet your kids, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Okay. You have an awesome day, dude. I really thank you, man.
Hey, take care, brother.
All right. You too, buddy. Bye bye. How are you today, Logan?
I'm doing pretty good, brother. How about you?
I'm good, good, man. I'm doing awesome. Got my coffee, my lemon water. You ever drink lemon water?
I have a little bit. I can't lie. I got to get more into lemon water.
I grew up, my mom always had lemon water growing up. I don't even know why. Maybe she just liked it, but I grew up as a little kid, like sipping on. I don't even know if I loved it. I just like that's the thing that was sitting around. I'd sip her lemon water. Look at this. Look how much lemon is in that. Like
Oh,
lemonade, right? Isn't that crazy?
oh my Lord. The only thing I got is this huge bottle. I got to
Oh yeah,
get all my water for the day.
dude. That's what I need. I need a big bottle. I need a big one. I have, like water bottles or whatever, like bigger things, but I need just one big one so I can have it all day long. I've never done that. I drink, dude. I swear I drink like for sure 3 of these a day. That much? Yeah, a lot.
It's just, I
And
mean,
it's all I drink: lemon water and coffee. Like 3 coffees a day.
I drink a lot of water.
That's good, man. Um, well, it prevents kidney stones. That's for sure. I've had kidney
Yeah.
stones before, so
Oh,
that's lemon water or just regular water. So, okay, man. Well, tell me your first and last name and the name of the place, what you do there, the classes you guys offer, age groups, that kind of thing. Just tell me all about it, man.
yeah. I'm Logan Richbourg. I and the instructor over at On the Mat Jiu-Jitsu. I am a blue belt right now, so I'm not gonna act like I'm a crazy black belt with, world champion titles, nothing fancy like that yet. Uh, but we teach a pretty large range of age groups right now. I have a tots class that I do right now, so we teach 4 to 6 because I've been teaching music for a long time before I did jiu-jitsu and kind of got more in
Oh,
contact with how to teach. And some people, the brain can't really intake information yet that well at 4 to 6, but in some cases they can. And then we have a youth class that's pretty wide ranged. And then you get a little older, you start, 14, 15 or so. The kids are big now, so we start throwing in the adults class. Yeah, give them a little more
that's
to
what I've heard.
offer. Yeah, they're, I don't know what it is. They're kids who come in all the time. They'll be 14. I'll walk in. Oh, adults classes at this time. They go, I'm 14. I'm like, you're 6'3". You should not be 14. There's no way.
Wow.
They're tall. It's
But dude,
crazy
let
how
me tell
big
you,
these
my
kids are getting.
son's 9 years old. Uh, he's not short for his age. He's kind of like average height, but up until this age, he's always been a little taller actually. And I'm a short guy myself. My wife's short. Um, but dude, his thighs, yo, I'm telling you, man, he's like an anaconda.
I don't know
His
what
his
they're feeding
thighs
these
like my
kids.
waist. So
Oh,
anyway, something going on.
they giving these kids something different nowadays because we got kids coming all the time who are like 15, 16 range, and they're taller. And we have this one absolutely talented kid who trains with us, and he is 180, and this kid has like no body fat on him. He's super, super solid. It is ridiculous.
180, yo, oh my gosh. So let's see. What do y'all have like no gi and gi or
Yeah, we
one or the
train no
other?
gi and gi. We do both.
Both? Okay. Um, let's see. And tell me exactly all you do there, man. You do a lot, right?
Yeah, right now we're more focused on our jiu-jitsu because we are relatively still a new gym. But we have a lot of plans. We've talked to a lot of other really, really talented, great people about bringing in more for our gym. And we have this massive, massive mat space, that we usually get a lot of comments on. We're pretty, pretty large in mat area. But we teach every day, and I teach morning and afternoon classes right now because still it's a newer gym, so it's always the struggle of you know getting that start because we're in that 2 year range is where we're at right now. It's a difficult
Yeah.
progression, but we're working towards it.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. And tell me again one more time where you guys are at. What location?
We're in Brewton, Alabama, at 1110 Blacksher Street.
Okay, awesome. All right, man. Well, tell me as far back as you want, if as far as your personal jujitsu story, kind
Yeah,
of why you got into it, all that kind of stuff, and then you can lead up to like, your time at the academy. Does that sound good?
yeah, of course. I started. I have an exact time because I keep a little track on my phone. 489 days ago.
Okay.
I started doing jujitsu, and a little bit before that, I was at life was happening. I was in a pretty rough spot at the time. I had a really bad relationship going. Went through a whole bunch of terrible things. Unfortunately, I was taking care of my mom for a long time, and it was in one of those situations where I wasn't really confident enough to say no or really fight back against anything. So I didn't really have a lot of confidence at all. And
Okay.
I started working at Subway, and I met one of my best friends, absolutely ever, Jacob Jordan, who used to be one of the instructors with us. He's absolutely a talented practitioner, one of the best people I've met in my entire life. And he was a part of what started it. And funny enough, he talked to me a little bit, and he always would try to egg me on, hey, you should come train jujitsu. I was like, I kind of don't like getting beat up, but one day.
Yeah, that's how you
And
saw it, right? Getting beat up.
yeah, that's how it feels. It's intimidating at first. It's like, I don't want to go pay to get beat up for, a couple hours and then go home tired. But I finally found the time one night to go do it because he would rave to me about it every day at work. Um, and when I finally went to go do it, it was so much fun. And it was one of those things that I was able to lock in with immediately and kind of attach to, of just something I was super interested in because of how in depth it goes. We have this really funny video actually of my first night ever of jiu-jitsu. Jacob has my arm under my back and he's passing my guard. And someone behind the camera goes, "You should get your arm out of there." And I was like, "Oh, no joke, really?" And I was sitting there sweating half to death. You could see my sweat painting the mat. It was so bad. Uh, and after a while, I kept finding time to come do it. And I fell so much in love with it. And another thing that I also talk about very commonly is I am autistic. I've been diagnosed a while ago, and it is something that it's just, I mean, people make the jokes about it. Craig Jones, he talks about it. You can give people steroids, but you can't give people autism, and those are the people that are the ones that have fun with it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but I kept doing it, and after a while, there was this self-respect aspect that I started to learn because I started being able to cross personal hurdles doing jujitsu to be able to realize that with me trying and applying myself, I can come across anything. I can defend myself. I can be confident. I can do these things. So I finally was able to get out of the relationship I was in because it was a whole bad, life case, all that horrible stuff. And then I was able to start living my own life for the first time ever growing up. I had always helped others and, didn't really have the confidence to do anything, but, go, "Oh, I guess, okay, we'll do whatever." Um, and now I'm in my own house, and I'm doing a lot better now. And it's one of those things that was really important to me that I was able to gain the confidence. It was such a life-changing experience. So that's something I really fight for to, per like to give to others that start training jujitsu, is that this can change your life and this can give you the confidence that really matters. And this can give you the ability to strive to fight for yourself and for others. It's so important to me. It's one of the biggest things I talk about all the time.
What is it about jujitsu? Maybe there's several things that gave you confidence. If you kind of was able to break it down, have you ever thought of that?
It was, I think a lot of the time when I first started, I uh was stuck in the last scenarios like I was talking about earlier. I'd have my knees next to my ears and I would be twisted up in a pretzel somehow. And I was like, "Oh, there's nothing I could do here. No, that's it." And then after a while, when I started learning and then I started being able to chase and hunt submissions and start getting out of things and surviving more, and I was doing way better in my jujitsu experience, it was then I was able to realize that I can cross hurdles if I apply myself, and I'm able to do these things. And it's all mental. Because the moment that I told myself that I'm doing bad, I you're losing the battle. You got to tell yourself you're doing good, that you can do it, and I wholeheartedly believe you can do anything you set your mind to in the most like movie instructor way, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right, 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 right. And when you first did it the first time, um, so that people can kind of like get an idea, did it hurt? Did you get hurt? Did you get injured? And
Uh,
I'm not setting you up to say no. I'm just yeah. I want
oh,
an honest answer. Kind of maybe some people have a idea that they're going to be like badly injured the first time because they don't know what they're doing. Maybe you can go into that kind of like maybe how why that doesn't happen. Maybe talk about the tap out. Do
yeah.
they talk to you about, do they explain, or did you start with a purple belt, brown belt, black belt so they could kind of ease you in, or did you start with a white
Oh.
belt, or how did that happen?
I um I always tell people that are new or like are looking to come into it, I'm like, "Hey, you're not gonna get injured." And not because it's not a dangerous sport, because it is. It's a combat sport. You're sitting there twisting each other up and trying to break each other's arms and choke each other out. But There is the tap out thing. You can experience as much pain as you want, and the moment you're done, I'm done. Tap, it's over. But another thing that when I started, I rolled with Jacob, who was a purple belt at the time, now a brown belt. And he is seriously good. I think his road to black belt is not gonna be long. I think he's gonna crush it. And it was the same reason why I didn't really get injured, except for way later. I mean, I got tape right now, and then other things that have happened, but those are all my fault.
Yeah.
I When we first started, I never got injured when I first started, and it's because I was rolling with somebody with experience. And now, whenever someone comes to the gym, I go, "Hey, if you roll with anybody, it's gonna be me or one of our other people with experience because we know how to handle it." I try my best not to throw white belts in with other white belts that are brand new because they think that's all gas and they adrenaline dump and then they want to go throw up and I'm like, hey, don't throw up on my mats. Oh, I don't want that.
So, yeah, that's not the essence of jujitsu. All the adrenaline. It's calmness and
Oh,
technique, right?
100%. I preach to a lot of their students right now that every time that they are pushing themselves super intensely, it's good for practice. But every time I say it, the philosopher is better than the athlete in this case. You know, they always say pen is mightier than the sword, and it's really true. There's a lot of people who will down it, but this is because they were wrestlers, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
um it's a lot of, if I allow myself to think, I can create traps and I can create scenarios where I have advantages. But if I also am thinking, if somebody else is setting up on me, I can disrupt it, then they lose their progress. Then it's irritating. They're trying to climb up and mount. So I bump my hips around, have hip frames and stuff like that. And I make them think I'm going this way. The moment that they stop doing their plan, I'm able to last longer in the round, which sometimes is the match. If I'm up on points and they're just in mount, I can sit there and mess with them and really do a whole lot of nothing other than just irritate them. Then that is how I can get my advantage, is by thinking. I teach a lot too about movement and how important the hips are. I wholeheartedly believe the hips are the most important part of the body. It's
Okay.
if they get stuck, you're going nowhere. If your chest gets pinned down, I'm flexible enough. I can reach my feet over to your hips and get your back and all this other stuff. But if your hips are pinned down, you can't go anywhere. You're completely done. So it kind of ties with the idea that at the same time with being an athlete or whatever you may do and thinking is that in jujitsu, especially if you are remembering, it is a failure. It is better to anticipate. So that's kind of what I like teaching a lot. Is the idea of anticipation rather than getting stuck in guard. All right, think if I remember the move right, I think if I do this, and then I teach you got to let stuff come to you and then find it and then do those moves when they get there, and then how to abandon those if you lose it and go to a better position. Anticipation is so important.
So it's kind of like it's trying to not rely on adrenaline and strength. It's
Yeah,
trying to rely on knowing and and anticipating.
I always say that because if your whole reliance is on strength and adrenaline, then the moment you go your first match in a tournament, you got 6 matches to go. You adrenaline dump the first one. You're not adrenaline dumping 5 more times. I hate to tell you, it's just not happening. But if I rely on thinking and staying calm and working on these things, that is longevity. And when it comes to jujitsu, sometimes when you get really high up there in brackets like ADCC, sometimes they're up there for 15, 30 minutes. It's insane. And
Oh,
they're not adrenaline dumping. They're not going up there and dropping every ounce of strength in the first 3 minutes. It's just not going to work. You have to think
yeah.
and slow it down and control the pace of the match.
And one other thing that you said earlier is, for the first timers, the people they're going to roll with, they're trying to break your arm, they're trying to break your leg. I mean, you know, everyone says that, but that's not necessarily what that means. It means
Yeah.
they're trying to get you to tap out before. before your arm breaks.
It's
They're not
it's
they're not trying to actually break your limbs. They're
yeah.
trying to get you to tap out because that is the end of the match, the tap out.
It's tapping points, and a lot of the times, I tell people too. A lot of for some I've done is for someone's first like 2 or 3 nights. I'm like, hey, don't worry about submissions. When you roll somebody, just get positions, position over submission. Probably heard that a million times. It's
Yeah.
so important that your position is good because if you got a good position, then you have a good submission. But if you have a bad position, you got no submission. It's just not going to work. So I try to make them work their fundamentals because truthfully, all the other fancy, cool, flashy moves from jiu-jitsu were just fundamentals with a couple extra steps.
Got it, got it. What about, autism? Do you think has it helped you in any way?
Absolutely. I um I digest information in a very different way than most people do. And that's something I've come to learn. Is at first, when I was younger, didn't understand that. I had no concept of being able to understand of why I think about things so differently and all this stuff. But doing jujitsu, when I first started training, because it was me and Jacob, and we were so close. I mean, for my first like 5 or 6 months, I trained for 40 to 50 hours a week because all we would do is hang out and do jujitsu. And when I'm home, it's all I consume. I sit here, I do work and all this stuff. And on my other monitor, I have matches going on. I have other seminars. I have instructionals. I have it consumes every hour of my day from when I wake up and go to bed. Um, and it's just the way that I process information differently, I think is what I don't I guess makes me different.
Sure, 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 sure. And how did you get involved with, like, with On the Mat? How did that come to be?
It was through Jacob. He's the one that dragged me over there. He kept wanting me to train because they started forever ago in the back of a church. They were just, sectioning out space with everybody else who's ever started jujitsu as a business. They completely know the feeling of renting out like a yoga space, going, "Hey, can we come beat each other up in here for a couple hours?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they did it
So
in the
that's
back
the
of a
place you
church.
started, is that correct? Is On the
Not
Mat where you s Go ahead.
on the mat. I've been with my entire life. That's where I've been
Okay, got it,
jujitsu the
got it.
entire time.
Okay. What about On the Mat? Do you think everybody what is it that everybody loves about On the Mat? About the place, the culture there?
I think I don't necessarily think that I would separate ourselves from anybody else. I think that we offer the same thing every other gym does. And I think that's what's really important is creating a sense of unity in what we do. It's a family. And at the end of the day, no matter what, I think there will obviously be differences with every gym, but I think one of the biggest things that we fight for is to make sure that everyone knows that I and mainly intent I say every single time it is a sport, we should be having fun. And I think fun is subjective to whoever it may be. Some people love being competitive. Some people love taking it easy, slow, laid back, and some people just like coming in only for rolls and skipping warm-ups. But I mainly prioritize, I tell people all the time, just have fun and you're doing it right. I've been doing music for a long time and I did not get anywhere as close to as far as I did now without having fun. I have fun every step of the way, and that's the same thing I apply to jujitsu is rather than taking it so seriously, I just have fun. My first I have posters from competitions I have golds at that I gotten from the people, and my first gold I ever won is my first match ever and is the first gold I ever won. I showed up to the side of the mats. I had a whole chocolate cake I got from Walmart, and I think I had Rihanna playing in my headphones at the time. And I don't know, the other dude is super serious. He had like some super intense music going on, and I was like, I don't know, man. I went out there, had fun, and it's just that's just all it's about. I just go have fun, and I promise you, those are the people that are doing better. They're just having fun with it. It's not so
So
deep.
let it be kinda like what do you want it to be what you want it to be for you, right?
Yeah,
Have fun no matter.
it's your own everyone's journey is separate. If you were to ever start, your son's, especially with his journey, it's gonna be different from other practitioners. Every practitioner's journey is gonna be different, and what their goals are and the way they learn and the way they process. Everyone's so different, so I think creating a sense of understanding that we should all at least have fun together in this because it's a fun thing to do is super important. And I think that um, that's what brings us all together. And that's why I always say that whenever I talk about any other gyms, there are some insanely, insanely talented people and great instructors in other gyms. And all of us offer the same thing, a fun place to train and something we can all do together.
Cool, man. Tell me, for people who are out there who don't train right now or who are thinking about getting their kids involved, tell me what jujitsu just kind of, if you had to sum it up, like what has it done for you in your life, and what can it do for others?
I think, as I was kind of mentioning earlier, jujitsu really is one of those things that have earned myself self respect. I didn't respect myself before. I didn't love myself before. I didn't care at all. And I think after stepping into the jujitsu journey, I started to understand that respecting myself is really important because I can do these things that I thought I could never do before. And I think nonetheless, I just want others to really understand that. And if anybody else were to do it or anybody else was to put the kids into it, I think it is so insanely important that you love yourself and you respect yourself. And this is one of the greatest gateways into doing so because you learn just what you're capable of and you learn to finally respect yourself and be humble to others. And I think I think it's such a cool experience that us as people can have. And I think it's something super important across all channels of whatever people do.
What do you love most about teaching?
Oh, oof, teaching for a long time, and I always say the same thing. I
Like
love,
was music, like was it at a school or was it private lessons when you did
uh,
music?
I did a lot of private teaching and stuff like that, and I just helped others around whenever I could. And I ended up after a while forming my own band because of it, and then I helped other people out who are trying to get into the space, but they feel like they're not really good in this way. I was like, yeah, just have fun with it. And you're gonna do great. And everybody I've always taught, it's the same thing. I think making a difference is something that has always been a dream of mine, and being able to actually help others achieve things that they didn't think was possible is super, super cool to me. And I love the fact that I can affect other people so drastically and change their lives with just coming up and showing them, hey, this is how you can do this weird arm bar from this position. And they're like, this is changing my life. It's like, I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but when you're talking about it's changing their lives, I mean, the practice of it itself is changing their lives as well. Aside from being able to do it in real life that they had to, but the practice of pushing through something incredibly difficult and mentally being so good you can anticipate things. That's helping them in their lives as well, right?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. It's just people who can, when you understand that when there's limitations and these intense barriers set against you, and you're able to push past that, it is immediately such a self-confidence of, hey, I can do this. And if I can beat that 400-pound purple belt in the mats as a blue belt, I think I could go, get some chores done around the house or go apply for that job or go try harder, with my family or anything else like that. Like they seem so small in comparison to getting in a grappling fight with somebody who's 3 times your size.
Yeah. Okay. So it changes your perspective on like daily life stuff. I understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Logan. Well, thanks so much for being on, bro.
Of course, dude.
Thanks for what you're doing, man. I mean, putting the fun into it, making sure everybody understands that, no matter what, jujitsu is for you, have fun. And I mean, that's what everybody wants in their lives, anyways, right? And
Uh,
I know a lot of people want different things from jujitsu. So yeah, I
ev-
appreciate you putting
It's
that into
it's
the world.
it's everyone's journey is different. That's all I care about, dude. Is have some fun with it. It's what we're here for. I think everyone here should just have fun. And I think that's what makes it go round. Love and fun, dude. That's what I live for.
Well, thanks so much, buddy, for being on, and it's so nice to meet you. And I hope you have an awesome day. All right.
You too, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I really appreciate you as well. All right, Logan. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Bye.
All right, see you, dude.